What does a tech content writer do? In this video, we're going to answer that question. Hi, I'm Josh. I'm the founder of Technical Writer HQ, and I have over 10 years of technical writing experience. And I spent most of that experience as a technical content writer, particularly working in tech. So I can help explain to you the what, where, and how of becoming a successful tech content writer. Particularly because I've been able to take my career and make well over 6 figures in that position. So not just working and making $12 an hour, but really being able to scale it up and achieve a great deal amount in terms of salary and job security, and even taking it on to do other things. But before we dive in this topic, take a moment to subscribe to our channel and thumbs up this video, and that way you won't miss anything about technical writing when it comes to becoming a better technical writer, taking your career to where you see it going, and increasing your salary. Now let's go ahead and jump in to understand more about the tech content writer. First, we must ask, what is it? A tech content writer creates content covering a range of tech topics. This can be anything like the content for website pages, blogs, reviews, social media posts, and more. A tech content writer always pays attention to search engine optimization and keywords to reach a target audience and attract new readers to website, apps, and maybe other products that they may be working with. And they usually create, again, blog posts, product descriptions, web pages, and ebooks. Let's take a look at real life examples that may come into your head when you think about a technical content writer. Imagine you need to write a blog post about MySQL, and it should not be just copywriting. And the reason for that is you have a technical audience that wants technical information. This blog post, or maybe it's a series of blog posts, must help a company stand out by providing helpful information. Companies need to be able to provide information to their readers that they can't get anywhere else. This is why technical content writers exist. They can describe tech industry topics on a deeper level. That helps achieve marketing and sales goals by attracting new website visitors, while also ensuring that you can reduce customer support time by answering important questions about technology. Let's know the difference between the technical writing and tech content writing, though, as it will remove clouds of confusion, if any. First, the word tech and tech content writing stands for technical. Second thing here is that it is a category of technical writing that is engaging, creative, and increasingly in high demand. Technical writing is a practice of documenting processes such as software manuals or instruction materials. It shares knowledge in a user-friendly way. On the other hand, technical content writing means writing blogs, videos, social media, news writing, ghostwriting, and SEO composition, but specifically for the tech world. It generally shares knowledge in a customer-friendly way. Speaking of similarity, technical writing and technical content writing can be seen as two sides of the same coin, and many of the types of writing do overlap. So you may focus on lots of technical writing as a tech content writer. Let's take a look at a tech content writing example. I took this screenshot from a blog post on Search Engine Journal, a website where you can learn about SEO. As you can see in the screenshot, it explains the purpose of a tool, which is Lighthouse. This is a web page performance improvement tool. This isn't technical writing, as it is more of a generic nature and enticing the audience to become a customer rather than a user. Feel free to pause the video and take a moment to read through it here. As more and more jobs become automated, a lot of us have growing anxiety that our profession might be the next for robots to replace. However, content writing will still rely on humans, at least for a while. And technical content writing is one of the fastest growing jobs in the market. And that's because often you're writing about things that are new in technology. And how do you get AI to do that? Very difficult. In fact, the Bureau of Labor Statistics from the United States Department of Labor predicts that between now and 2026, technical writing employment will experience a growth of 11%. That's 5% higher than the average growth for all occupations and 6% greater than the employment growth for media and communication specialists. So in similar positions where people focus on writing and communication, this is a winning position. Content structure and formatting is where readability takes roots. So make sure you do that when reviewing any content. So here we're talking about the skills of what it takes to be a good tech content writer. And there are a couple of questions that you have to ask when finalizing a draft. You have audience awareness, which helps you with even the finest of content details, including sentence length and word choice. You need to ask yourself these questions. How many sections should a topic have? How long should each paragraph be? Are sentence length and structure appropriate? Is your audience familiar with the terminology that you're using? Is the content accessible and appropriate for an international audience? And last thing here, if your team works with a translator, can the content be localized? That being said, once you have the answers to those questions, you are on your way to a well-structured article. Besides the message that you are trying to convey through your technical content writing, it must treat men and women equally and use non-sexist occupational descriptions. And this is more important than ever today. Instead of chairman or chairwoman, use chairperson. Instead of foreman, use supervisor or manager. Instead of man hours, staff hours, use worker hours. And instead of salesman or saleswoman, use salesperson. It's very important that your tech content writing stays inclusive. Moreover, use parallel terms to describe men and women. Instead of ladies and men, use ladies and gentlemen. Instead of man and wife, use husband and wife. One common way of handling pronoun references that could apply equally to a man or a woman is the use of the expression his or her. To avoid this awkward usage, try rewriting the sentence in the plural. Every employee should submit his or her expense report by Monday. Now, we're simply going to change this to all employees should submit their expense reports by Monday. Let's talk about some perks of being a technical content writer. If job security and high demand aren't enough for you, here are a few of the other appeals. So one is that work will never get monotonous. So it's never going to get boring. Have you ever worked at a job that was the same day in and day out? It is certainly mind-numbing. However, with technical content writing, there's always something new to learn. And it changes every day. As long as new technologies, methods, and ethics surrounding those technologies come into being or fade out of use, there will forever be something to learn and write about. This is especially true if you go into technical content writing with little to no experience in the technology industry. As the less internal jargon that you know, the more you have to research. And two, you don't need experience in tech to be a technical content writer. Most of what you do as a technical content writer is take the complex and simplify it for the rest of us. And you need to put your time into the research portion of it to really understand what you're writing about. For example, you could be asked to write a journalistic blog discussing recent cyber attacks on universities, or create a lesson for developers on how to code an interactive map in their app. None of that requires you to be a programmer or IT technician. It may require you to talk to some of those people and do research and be able to do interviews well, but it doesn't necessarily require you to actually have those technical skills. All it needs for you to do is to be adaptable, and you got to be able to learn and know how to effectively communicate with others. As long as you're curious, a fast learner, a good researcher, and have a history of writing strong content, you can break into technical content writing. And three, you won't lose your passion to work. Fortunately, technical content writing does not rely so heavily on how creatively the author crafts a narrative as much as it values whether or not the author can produce something that serves a purpose. There is still an emphasis on creativity in technical content writing, but it's primarily on how well the author can maximize the reader's engagement and make the subject matter comprehensible to the general public. As such, you can have something you do for work and something you do for yourself at the end of the day. Striking a balance between those two is more important than most people realize. And number four, you can make great money as a technical content writer. I know for certain that technical content writers can earn anything between $50,000 all the way up to $200K annually if you're on a performance-based plan. The amount a technical content writer makes comes down to a few factors, such as the speed at which you output work, the quality of work that you output, and then also the amount of readers. So if you have a large audience, you can make significantly more. And also how strongly the company you've employed with trusts your ability to work on larger projects. Do they trust you to do interviews? Do they trust you to write entire books? If you're working freelance, the demand for your technical writing will determine how much you earn on average. It could be more than the estimations listed above. The amount you make as a technical writer also depends on how much you're willing to learn about the tech industry. A writer who doesn't know the first thing about coding will not be able to accept assignments from a client that wants them to write about the pros and cons between Angular and JavaScript. In this case, it literally pays to have a curious mind. Technical content writing has many avenues you can approach it from. The strongest skills you will have as a technical content writer are your willingness to learn, your adaptability, and your ability to produce strong written content. Now, let's talk about some good tips for success when starting your career in technical content writing. So, number one, become an industry expert. Now, an expert mostly just means that you aren't completely naive on the subject you're supposedly an expert on. In general, you should have a firm enough grasp on the technical matter you're writing about that you can add your own perspective instead of regurgitating what you learn about it. If you want to talk the talk, you have to walk the walk. As in, if you want to write about technical information, you have to know how to work with said information. That doesn't mean you have to be a surgeon to write about surgical robots. Similarly, you don't have to build your own security software to discuss new developments within the cybersecurity sector. In case you don't know anything about coding, you can research and learn at least the fundamentals and terminology around coding before beginning to effectively write about it. Thus, be adaptable and willing to learn at all times. Strong research skills will be your greatest asset here. The second part in building your career as a technical content writer is to know your audience. Here are the ways to achieve that. Reading the comments. Remember how I mentioned that research is your greatest asset? Well, when you research other technical content, look for any comments that may be attached to it. If there are comments, make note of what people are saying and how they're feeling about the subject at hand. Be as empathetic as possible when taking their comments into account, as these people will likely be the same who will read your work, and make sure to find case studies. Go to the reviews and testimonial section of any website that aims to deliver a service or product to tech professionals and look through any case studies they have, as well as any white papers. Case studies and white papers are designed to help a company build a customer persona, but they can also help you identify the common issues your audience might have and what they would like to hear. And of course, make sure you're following tech blogs. By following tech blogs, you'll keep up to date on new developments and what people are thinking about them. Sometimes this means signing up for their emails and just staying on their list to see what they're sending out. And those are the 3 ways you can use to identify your audience. The third and final part of building a career as a tech content writer is to build a portfolio. Employers mostly want to see that you have experience, but the experience is in short supply. That's why you have to create your own. Find a technical topic that interests you. This can be software development, hardware development, scientific research, and more. And read everything you can on your chosen subject. Then create your own piece of technical content that focuses on it. And make sure to save your work on something that's easily shareable. It could be a free online portfolio website so that you can direct potential clients and prospects or employers to it when you need to. While writing your next tech blog post or web copy, keep these 6 characteristics of technical content in mind. You must be relevant, provide specific information that users are looking for. You must be concise, that means keeping it short and simple. Accurate, so ensure information is precise and accurate. Well structured, ensure that you are organized and sequence information properly. And then make sure it's accessible, so use headings, lists, hyperlinks, and meta descriptions. And of course, that's well illustrated to represent information visually to make it easier to digest. Like any content writer, your job as a technical content writer is to write for technology and of course anything technical in nature. Your job includes writing blogs, video scripts, social media caption, news articles, technology articles, often acting as a ghostwriter and using SEO best practices. You may also be tasked to write ebooks, white papers, and many other different types of content. Preferred qualifications for a tech content writer include a university degree or a technical writing college diploma or certification in relevant fields. Excellent oral and written communication skills, knowledge of how to create simple images. Moreover, preference is given to candidates with a master's degree in a specialized field. For example, life sciences, physics, engineering, psychology, and more. However, the field is as flexible as part of the broader field of content writing. If you don't have any of those preferred qualifications, you can still become a tech content writer. To achieve the status of a technical content writer, you must have thorough research skills, a well-made portfolio with your articles, and some tech background. From there, the stage is all set for you to start a tech content writer career. And I'm here to take your tech content writer career up to new heights with a technical writing certification that we offer at Technical Writer HQ. And you can find that in the description below this video. We've had thousands of people go through this certification to become better tech content writers. And we've had hundreds of people get jobs after getting the certification and making it even better. Now here we have Grammarly, which is a helpful tool that assists writers with their articles. You can try out the premium version or the paid version, which helps on a deeper level. You get many perks in the free version as well. And I highly recommend using this tool if you're gonna write any content online, and make sure you pass your writing through it, and it'll help you look more like a professional and remove a lot of the passive voice that you may use within your writing. And whatever the age or era is, salary remains the topmost concern for writers. Pay scale lists the average salary of a content writer with technical skills to be around $51,347 a year. Similarly, according to salary.com, the average digital content writer salary in the US is $63,730, but the range typically falls between $59,907 and $71,000. Finally, according to Glassdoor, the national average salary for a technical content writer is $60,385 per year in the US. So that confirms their average salaries from the three of the most authentic sources of the web. And there we have it. Those are some of the average salaries, one taking this position into consideration if you want to jump into it or you're looking for a salary increase. And there we have it. We just finished discussing the role of a tech content writer. Thank you for watching the video. Again, my name is Josh Vector. I'm the founder of Technical Writer HQ, and I help people break into technical writing. And if you're interested in keeping up with technical writing, make sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on some of our other videos. Sending you lots of good energy and wishing you the best in your career in the meantime. Cheers.